As a part of microcontroller and its applications course, we have serial communication related issues like we want to communicate with outside world using serial communication data transfer mode in peak as well as in general purpose microcontrollers 8051. We have options for serial communication, like it may be using RS-232 or MAX-232 connector, or it may be using SPI or I2C MSSP feature. So in one by one these coming presentations we will go through all these options. So one of the most popular way of transferring data over a distance is serial communication, because in case of parallel communication, though multiple bits and that is speed is high, bits we are transferring, but when we go for long distance it will not work properly, because carrying multiple lines is a difficult task. But with a single line, if we do the data transfer, then it will be much cheaper and as well as kind of a reliable, because we can use a simple telephone line kind of a medium and transfer the data. So basically for distant communication, long distance communication, serial communication is one of the most suitable and best option for transferring data. So in general you have different options under that. So one of them is RS-232 standard. So through this presentation we will be discussing about RS-232. Basically RS-232 is used to get a kind of a interface, or it is an interface standard, basically was set by Electronics Industries Association, that is EIA, in 1960s around. In 63 approximately it was modified and then called RS-232. So that is a receive and send kind of a abbreviation. In 1965 and then in 1969 it was again revised in the form of RS-232B and then RS-232C. So conventionally in the market or even in the industry, most of the times you may come across the term RS-232D. So that is a D channel kind of a standard. So most popularly it is used in PCs in as well as numerous types of equipments. So in general, as far as RS-232 is considered, it is one of the most widely used serial I/O interfacing standard. So its range is in -3 to -25 volt for logic 1 and +3 to +25 volt for logic 0. So making it -3 to 3, this particular portion it is keeping undefined. So commonly we have to use some other voltage converter along with this. So with microcontrollers, especially with peak microcontroller, MAX-232 is a TTL logic compatible voltage level control converter. So that is in between placed and serial data transfer or serial communication is carried out. Now before going into details of SPI, MSSP or I2C and all, so first of all we will go through what are the basic things about RS-232. So what exactly is RS-232? It is a recommended standard 232C in the recent version of standard 25 pin, whereas RS-232D, which is of 22 pins. In new PCs, male D type, there is a combination of 9 pins preferred. RS-232 is a standard protocol used for serial communication. It is used for connecting computer and its peripheral devices to allow serial data exchange between them, as it obtains the voltage for the path used for the data exchange between the devices. It is used in serial communication up to 50 feet with the rate of 1.492 kbps. As EIA defines, RS-232 is used for connecting data transmission equipment, that is DTE, and data communication equipment, that is DCE. It is using DB25 pin, DB9 pin kind of a connector, and we can connect these two say equipments. In general, as far as data transfer in serial communication is considered, there are two ways. First is asynchronous data transfer, that is the mode in which the bits of data are not synchronized by clock pulse. The clock pulse is a signal used for synchronization of operation in electronic system. And synchronous data transfer, as far as considered, that is the mode which is a kind of bits of data are synchronized with the clock pulse. So this is also preferred kind of a say option. Then as far as characteristics, basic characteristics of serial communication are considered, then here we have baud rate, which is one of the most important parameter. So baud rate is something is a major uh, it is a measure of the speed kind of a parameter. So it is described as number of bits passing in 1 second. The baud rate is 200 when we say, that is 200 bits per second. So in general, starting with 110 to 9600 is a popular set of baud rates, so which we use in many applications. Then there is a stop bit kind of a thing, which is used for single packet to stop the transmission, which is denoted as in general T. So that is a stop bit. Some typical values are like 1, 1.5 or 2 bits we can use. Then there is a feature called parity bits. So parity bits are used for so as to define the parity of that particular data. Then there is like even parity or odd parity, as we know. So for example, if suppose say 011, then that is a number of parity bit, say even parity bits, even number of bits, and odd parity bit, that means odd number of ones, that is ones especially, so that you can have, and accordingly that bit is set. So this is one more feature. Voltage levels, as far as consider in case of RS-232, already I mentioned that it is used in general ground and 5 volt level. Binary 0 works with voltages up to plus 5 volt to plus 15 volt, and it is called on or spacing high level voltage level, whereas binary 1 works with voltages up to minus 5 volt to minus 15 volt. In standard it is defined, so it is called as off or marking low voltage. So plus 5 volt to plus 15 volt and minus 5 to minus 15 volt, these are two levels. Received signal voltage levels. So binary 0 works on the received signal voltages up to 3 volt to 13 volt DC, and binary 1 works with voltages up to minus 3 to minus 13 volt DC. Line impedances, the impedances of wires is up to 3 ohms to 7 ohms, and the maximum cable length is 15 meters, but the new maximum length is in terms of capacitance per unit length. Operation voltage, the operation voltage will be of 250 volt AC maximum. The current rating will be 3 amperes maximum, and dielectric withstanding voltage will be 1000 VAC minimum. As far as slew rate is considered, the rate of change of signal level is termed as slew rate, with its slew rate up to 30 volt microseconds, and the maximum bit rate will be 20 kbps. Now how it works, that is one thing which we want to know. So in general, it is two-way communication that exchanges data to one another. There are two devices connected to each other, that is data transmission equipment or data terminal equipment we call, with DCE, that is data communication equipment, which has the pins like TXD, RXD, then RTS, CTS. Now from DT source, the RTS generates the request to send the data. Then from the other side DC, the CTS, that is that clears the path for receiving the data. Then after clearing a path, it will give a signal to RTS of DT source to send the signal, and then the bits are transmitted from DTE to DCE. Now again from DCE source, the request can be generated by RTS and CTS of DTE sources clears the path for receiving the data and gives signal to send the data. This is the whole process through which data transmission takes place. These are the two connectors which we use conventionally, that is RS232 or DB9 male connector and RS232 DB9 female connector. So these two connectors are very useful kind of say important component in serial communication to ensure fast and reliable data transmission between two devices, maybe like a printer we have connected or any other device. We have this type of a DB 9 pin connector. You can see the pins on that picture, that is RI, CTS, RTS, DSR, ground, DTR, TXD, RXD and CD. So these are the main important 9 pins which are playing role in serial communication. In general, here I have just overview of the pins for RS232, that is ground pin, pin number 1 shield ground, then TXD, RXD transmit data, receive data, then RTS, CTS request to send, clear to send, then dataset ready pin, then ground, then there is carrier detect, then received, two pins are reserved, that is pin number 9 and pin number 10. Then pin number 12 and 13, so that is secondary carrier detect and secondary clear to send. Then pin number 14, that is secondary transmit data. Pin number 15 is TCK, that is transmission signal element timing. Then SRXD, secondary receive data. So RCK, receiver signal element timing, and LL, that is local loop control. Conventionally, there are total 25 pins. Then pin number 20, DTR terminal ready. 21 is RL, remote loop control. Then RI, that is ring indicator. Then DSR, that is data signal rate selector. And then there is XCK, that is transmit signal element timing. And 25th pin is test indicator. So this is also used in case of testing purpose. So though there are total number of 25 pins, but we need to use selected pins for connection purpose. That is, these are the 9 pins which are actually used or which are directly involved in the whole mechanism or the whole process. So out of that, this particular carrier detect pin is used for detecting the incoming signal from DC. It is abbreviated as CD, that is carrier detect. It is a control signal present inside RS232 serial communication cable that goes between computer and another device like modem. The signal is simply a high or low status bit that is sent from DC to DT. It is a typical just general purpose signal. So that is going to give you the reference like a ring indicator. So this is also for the serial port giving reference purpose. Then there is a receive data and transmit data. So in general, data terminal ready is outgoing handshaking signal. When the terminal or PC is turned on after going through self-test, it sends out signal DTR to indicate that it is ready for communication. If there is something wrong with COM port, this signal will not be activated. This is active low signal and can be used to inform the modem that the computer is alive and kicking. So this is an output pin from DTE and an input to the modem. Now there is RD pin, that is receive data. So this is general receive data pin, and transmit data, that is outgoing signal. Then there is DSR, that is data set ready. In between is just a ground signal. So DSR is data set ready pin, incoming handshaking signal. As we mentioned, outgoing handshaking signal. Similarly, there is an incoming handshaking signal. So when the modem is turned on and has gone through the self-test, it asserts DSR to indicate that it is ready to communicate. It is an output from the modem and an input to PC. This is active low signal. If for any reason the modem cannot make connection to the telephone, this signal remains inactive, indicating the terminal that it cannot accept or send data. Then there is RTS, that is request to send. When the DTE device such as PC has a byte to transmit, it asserts RTS to signal the modem that it has a byte of data to transmit. RTS is an active low signal, um, again output from DTE and input to modem. Then there is a clear to send. So this is incoming signal in response to RTS, and the modem has a room to store the data it is to receive. It sends out the signal CTS to DTE to indicate that it can receive the data now. This input signal to DTE is used by DTE to start transmission. So general signal. Then there is in general data carrier detect mechanism, as I mentioned, that is modem asserts the signal this carrier detect to inform DTE that valid carrier has been detected, and you can contact between, and the modem, once the contact is established, then it can proceed. And ring indicator, that is RI. So this is incoming signal from DC, so an output from modem, that is, and an input to PC, that is DT. That indicates that telephone is ringing. RI goes on and off in synchronization with ringing sound. 6 handshake signals, these mainly out of 9, excluding other. They are like used because modem take care of answering the phone, and in the given system, if we are supposed to perform the operation, then you have to go for it. In the beginning of kind of a handshaking is done. So there are 3 ways in case of RS-232 standard of handshaking. First one is said it is a no handshaking kind of activity. Then there is software handshaking, and one more is the hardware handshaking. So all these 3 are carried out. So first case, that is no handshaking. If there is no handshaking, then DC reads the already received data while DT transmits the next data. All the received data stored in a memory location known as receiver's buffer. This buffer can only store 1 bit, so receiver must read the memory buffer before the next bit arrives. If the receiver is not able to read the stored bit in the buffer and next bit arrives, then the stored bit will be lost. Like here you can have the 4th bit till the 5th bit arrival, and this result overriding 4th bit by 5th bit, you can see, and 4th bit is lost. So like that it may happen, so just because there is no handshake. In case of hardware handshaking, it uses specific serial ports, that is RTS and CTS, to control data flow. In this process, transmitter asks the receiver that it is ready to receive data. Then the receiver checks the buffer that it is empty. If it is empty, then it will give signal to the transmitter that I am ready to receive the data. Then the receiver gives the signal to transmitter not to send any data while already received data cannot be read. Its working process is same as whatever we mentioned in case of no handshaking. Now same function, there is a software handshaking. So X on X off kind of a, even that is also one of the most popular standard, X.25 X on X off. In this process there are 2 forms, that is X on and X off, where X is the transmitter, X on is the part in which it resumes the data transmission, and X off is the part where it is going to uh, pauses the data transmission. It is used to control the data flow and prevent loss during the transmission. So in general, as far as IBM PCs COM ports are considered, then they're using, many PCs are using these DB25 or DB9 RS-232 connectors. The COM ports are designed COM1 and COM2. In recent years, actually, it has been replaced by USB port. But in case of PEAK 18, which is our interest as far as our course is considered, we can have COM port 1 which we can use, and we can connect this RS232 standard and perform serial communication. Um, in general, since peak 18 to RS232, there is a kind of a voltage discrepancy. So we want plus 5 and there is minus 3 to plus 3, and that is a gap. So that is undetected kind of a signal. So for that purpose, since it is not compatible, we have to use a kind of a line driver, or we call it as a voltage converter, which is max 232 in association with this RS232 standard. So with RxTX pins of PK18, we can establish the serial communication. In the next session, we will have this max 232. What exactly is its significance and role with RS232 serial communication. Thank you.